So tonight we're going to start a review that was 7 years in the making. Stay tuned. And we're live, coming to you from an undisclosed location somewhere in Northeast Ohio. I'm O'Malley of O'Malley's Adventure, and we're in a gear review 7 years in the making in the Fallout Shelter. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. Starting to get back on track with the weather kind of settling down, and I got a knife review tonight. And like I said, about 7.5 years that I've been waiting to do this review. Not so much because of it actually took 7 years. I wanted to see if this knife was going to stand the test of time, and it has, and it is the SOG Trident. And this is one bad bow jammy. Let me tell you what. Let's start with some overall specs, and then we'll get into some particulars, and then you can make a decision as to whether or not you want to drop about $55 on one of these at Amazon and be part of the cool kids club with a SOG Trident. So here we go with the specs. Okay, the closed length is 4 3/4 inches. The blade length is 3 3/4 inches. It's made of Auss-8 steel. Has a rock roll hardness of 57 to 58. Has a black handle, which is basically a nylon or glass reinforced nylon. Partially serrated. You can get it in a variety of blades. You don't have to get the black. You can get a full blade without the serrations. You can get it pretty much any way you want. The one I have in particular is partially serrated. Overall length 8.5 inches, and it only weighs 3.6 ounces. That's right, it is really light, and it is really durable. So that being said, the partially serrated blade, this one, I'm not a fan of serrations to begin with, but just to keep it real, SOG serrations, they're terrible. Something to compare this knife to would be the previously reviewed, let's flip it this way so you can see, Kershaw Blur. Now, I'm not a fan of serrations, but Kershaw, they got theirs right, in my opinion. They just, and this knife here is 4 years old. This one's about 7.5. Like I said, I'm not a fan of serrations, but Kershaw's in my opinion, tend to be the better of the serrations that are out there. The SOG serrations weren't incredibly sharp to begin with, and if you look, I had to do a little bit of work. Let's see if we can get that to come into view. A little bit of work there on the back side of the serrations. That's the front. Standard thumb stud volcano type, which is more than enough purchase. Lots of room here for jimping. I have sort of a medium type hand, and you can get almost the whole pad of your thumb on that. It is bushed. The blade over time, every once in a while, we'll get this little wobble. Again, this is 7.5 years old. Just tighten that little star nut up, and it goes right back to the way it was from the factory. The no chips, no dings. SOG's OS 8 is very, very nice. Even their budget knives that use the, I believe it's 8CR 13 MOV or something to that effect, which is basically a Chinese OS 8, that's even good. But that's the American version. When I bought this knife, it was, I want to say, 69 bucks, I think. Now you can get them for 55 on Amazon. The clip carries very deep, and you can flip this to right or left-handed, and has the lanyard. I've never had a lanyard on it. Eventually that coating does wear from sliding it in and out of pockets and backpacks. Never used the seatbelt cutter or paracord cutter. The blade is spring assisted, so it does deploy fast. The lock is on the side for folding it. This right here, and SOG, I hope that you are listening, get rid of that. Because when I first got it, very positive. Very positive. Let me see if I can. It just sort of slops back and forth now. Drop a super glue on there, and you're ready to rock and roll. But in your pocket, that will just sort of slide back and forth. And if you ever have to pull it out and you go to flip it out quick, it will be locked. And whatever you had to use it for quickly isn't going to work out so well. SOG, get rid of the lock. I get it. It's a spring-assisted blade. The other one that I have that doesn't have the serrations, which is out on loaner right now, I have that one super glued. It's never popped open in my pocket. Enough said about that, but SOG, please, if you're listening, you've been making that knife for a while. It's obviously going to stay for a while. Get rid of the lock. The way that I sharpen it is just one of those cheap Walmart sharpeners, the little yellow ones. And for a utility edge on this OS 8 steel, it's more than enough sharp. I mean, it's kind of scary sharp for people that aren't used to a sharp knife, but if you're used to a sharp knife, it's decent. So you don't have to go out of your way for any special stones or nonsense to sharpen it. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it about an 8.5. This little goofy lock thing is the only thing that I can think of that to me is a drawback. Also, there is no internal frame. I don't know if you can see that. Kind of, pretty much can't. This doesn't have any type of steel frame or anything on the inside. It's all within the handle itself. And I've beat this thing stupid. I've used it for things I probably shouldn't have. And it's held up. And like I said, it's about 7.5 years old. So that is my review on the SOG Trident. You should probably get one. For an everyday carry, you can't beat it. It'd be probably the best 55 bucks you can spend on an everyday carry knife, it lasts. And like I said, uh, you can use it for things that you probably shouldn't be using it for, and it still lasts. So, SOG Trident, that's a wrap on that. So, we do still have this review coming. I'm going to try and get it finished. I have part of it filmed. I didn't want to do that one live. There's a couple things I wanted to show that I'm going to need a couple different cameras for. So that is coming, and that is a winner too. That one will always be in the stable. So don't forget to hit that like button if you liked the video. If you thought it stunk, hit the thumbs down button. And the reconnection was successful. I have a Snapchat account, but I haven't used it yet. So if you want to hit me up that way, that's fine too. So that's a wrap. I'm going to try and have the Becker BK9 video out by the end of the week, end-ish, maybe. So stay tuned for that, and check me out for my little morning podcast thing that I got. And we dropped it again. And there we go. All right, I'm going to wrap this up before the men in sunglasses come and shut me down. And until next time, stay sharp, keep a tight shot group, and rock on.